Programs tonight on BBC One. At 7 o'clock, Tomorrow's World includes a look at the dangers of driving.
Barry, I've commandeered a vehicle.
The old trick, eh? Eat the telly before I get a chance to nick you.
It's a toaster.
Dalek, you have been defeated. Surrender. You have failed.
Insufficient data.
Nazi ain't got no humanity. They're the foot soldiers of a Jew-hating, mass-murdering maniac, and they need to be destroyed. That's why any and every sumbitch we find wearing a Nazi uniform, they're gonna die.
Is this world protected? But you're not the first lot to have come here. Oh, there have been so many. And what you've got to ask is, what happened to them?
Hello. I'm the doctor.
Yes, indeed. Good evening, good morning. I hope you're all doing well wherever you are in the world. As always, we have a packed show for you tonight. We have too much stuff to talk. I mean, literally, just too much stuff to talk about. And foolishly, I became the news again. We're not gonna linger on it too much, Mr. Trilby. We're gonna do Mr. Trilby. I mean, honestly, he was talking about me. I'll go into the whole reasons of why and what was going on with that. But somebody sent this to me this morning. I was like, oh, yes. Mwah! Thank you, Lord, for giving me such wonderful content. And it's so funny. Oh, man. Him and his entire ilk kind of remind me of it was what episode of The Young Ones was it, right? Oh, it's like a generic episode with Rick, but like there's one episode where Rick now turns to the camera. It's a vampire one, Nasty, right? Video Nasty turns to the camera and says, "This is very serious," and there's this very serious expression about how he takes himself so incredibly seriously. Oh God, they're so funny, and that's his entire ilk. They're so funny, and they are flapping around right now like crazy, like absolute crazy, because they know it's going to be a shit show. All right, they know it's going to bomb. I'm sorry. We're going to look at all the promotion going on in New York right now. I just don't think it's going to land, right? I just don't think it's going to land, and I'm sorry, right? And by seeing all the promotion going on in New York, it's very clear this is an American show, right? This is a Disney show. So we've got that coming on. We're going to talk about... okay, this is a little aside, right? This is a little aside, but this is life during wartime, and I'm like kind of pissed off, and I feel kind of stupid about it. Let me explain. So we just had this Jewish holiday, right? That went on. It was 7 days, much feasting, right? And my younger son, who's enlisted, right, and on the front lines right now, right? He's saying... One thing he says that really sucks. You have a 4-person crew in every tank. He's the only person in his tank that is enlisted. Everybody else are reservists. So basically, the reservists are going to say, "Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Leave me alone." Right? So he's left doing all the shit jobs, okay, in his tank. Fine, but he's a good worker. I think he's fine with it. But like when he comes home, we want to make sure like he has food, he has everything. Like we want to make it nice for him, right? Because literally he spends weeks in a tank. Like the first time he came back, he said like his feet had swelled like massively because he was like sitting up in this like cramped thing for like 2 weeks, And then he had to so he had to get him like these special compression socks so his feet didn't swell up. And anyway, so which apparently is normal, right? You find this out. You find all this stuff out with experience. So we had lots of family over. It was really nice, right? We had a really nice time for the week. And then, but it's very busy, right? It was very busy. The house was messy. We finally got it cleaned up, right? The house is spotless, right? Everything's put away. Oh, on Passover, you got to change all your pots and pans and knives and forks and everything over for kosher for Pesach versions. And you got to have dairy in here. And so it's a nightmare. It's like an organization. We finally got cleaned up. We said, oh, this Sabbath is just me, my wife, and my older daughter, the only one who still lives there. She's moving out in August, she's planning. Anyway, so we've it's Sabbath. It's Sabbath. We'll have a quiet Sabbath. So here was the plan. We'll go get sushi. We'll have sushi at Friday night. Nice and simple. Nothing to worry about. And then for Sabbath day, we'll do like super simple. We'll get bagels. Bagels, cream cheese, lox. Lovely. Right. Really, really simply. Normally you make a big meal, right? It's like a Thanksgiving meal or Christmas dinner. You make every week. You do make a big meal. Let's just ask, we want something simple and quiet. Oh, lovely. Right? No meat, it just seems, I just like, the lower key thing. So then my son calls today. They said, there's a good chance of coming home for Sabbath. I'm like, really? No. I don't want to have a shit ton of, meat made again. I wanted like a light, quiet Sabbath. And if he comes, his fiance is going to come. I know. Like, can he go to his fiance? I was just looking forward to a quiet time, right? I understand. It's better for him to be here than in combat. I understand that, but it's been 7 months now. It's wearing a bit bloody thin, ladies and gentlemen. It's wearing a bit. So I felt like such a schmuck. I'm like, my son's coming over. You should be like, yeah. I'm like, no, fuck off and kill Hamas, okay? Go with your tanks. Go do it already. Just go to Rafah. Leave us alone. Oh God, I wish I knew what the actual plan was. Like what's America doing? What's Israel like? What's the plan? Like, are you ever going there? Oh, yeah. No, I mean, the truth is this: if once they go into Rafah, most of the hostages are probably going to die. So they're trying to work out a hostage deal. But just like, come on already. They're schlepping out for freaking ever, and we're all like, everyone's like, really, all these people said, well, you can't eradicate Hamas. Well, we seem to be doing a good fucking job, and you're like losing your shit at the prospect of them actually being wiped out. And oh boy, once we go to Rafah, they will be wiped out, right? But no, no. They're staying. They're staying around, right? I wish I knew what the plan is. I have no idea, right? I have no idea. So let's deal with the Mr. Trilby thing first, because it's man. I mean, like, honestly, this is the fundamental premise that I'm working with, and I realized it when I was talking about him on my last stream, which is where all this comes from. I think he's obsessed with Jews. Right, he is obsessed and hates Jews at the same time, right? Yeah, it's like understanding anti-Semitism. I was getting a bit pissed off with Tim Pool this morning, right, when I was listening to his show from last night, because he genuinely, I think, doesn't understand the nuances and intricacies of anti-Semitism, right? And I love Tim Pool. I think he's honest. I think he's intellectually consistent. I think he's smart. I really love what he's doing, right? I really love what he's doing, but he's looking at it from his own perspective, which is fine. But so he was like, well, you can't really call these protests on campus anti-Semitic. And I'm like, well, you kind of can, right? It's like but understand the nuances of it is tough. So one of his problems is that this anti-Semitism bill went through in Congress, which I agree with his criticisms of it completely, but I'm very glad they went through, because it benefits me, right? But where was I going? The bill went through, and where was I going with that? Like, oh yeah. So the definition of anti-Semitism comes from the International Holocaust Remembrance. Used to be H, I think, but now they lost it. But now I think it's A, Alliance. I'm not sure what it is, but I think that's like the most accredited one. But he was going through it saying, why can't you call the Israeli government? Why can't you compare them to Nazis? Right? I'm like, well, because it's meant to. It's meant to hurt you on a racial level, right? Calling a Jew a Nazi, that's what. And the level that I've been pretty much consistent about is saying legitimate criticism of Israel is 100% not anti-Semitism, right? 100% not anti-Semitism. Illegitimate criticism of Israel is always anti-Semitism. Right? And it's designed to make you hate Jews. It's the most traditional form of anti-Semitism. Saying Jews use Christian baby blood to make their matzahs, right? On Passover, that's designed to defame Jews and make you hate them and exclude them from. So that's the function of it. Saying Jews are doing, Israel is doing a Holocaust. I'm sorry, I'm using the word Holocaust, a genocide in Gaza. Minutes in. Oh, there you go. I'm back. I was like 11 minutes in. It went down. Really? I know. My internet went down yesterday for like, about an hour then when the company said they were doing something with it. So I hoped it was getting better. Actually, there's something weird going on with the internet all over Israel. Some cyber attack. Nobody really knows what's going on. Well, somebody does. I don't know what's going on, right? I don't know what's going on. But silence go down. Anyway, where was I? Mr. Trilby. Mr. Trilby has this weird obsession with Jews, like and Jews and anti-Semitism. Like he loves to call people saying that say people are anti-Semitic. He's convinced Bolstrek, right, is anti-Semitic. Based on nothing. Here's the thing: he can never bring his receipts. So I think it's projection, because I think he really genuinely is anti-Semitic, right? Anybody who says with confidence that Israel are Nazis performing a genocide, they are genuinely anti-Semitic, because that's just illegitimate criticism. It's not true at all, right? And that's the sort of thing he does. So I believe he's really anti-Semitic. So I'm like thinking, but what's with the obsession, right? What's with the weird obsession? I remember they used to have, I haven't listened to Howard Stern for decades now, but I used to listen to Howard Stern in like the 2000s when he was good. And he would have this guy called Daniel Carver, who was like the head grand dragon or something of the KKK. I can't read. He was reasonably high up in it, right? And his wife, and it was fascinating seeing their lives, right? Looking into the everyday lives of genuine old school racists. Absolutely fascinating, right? So, but his wife had a collection of little black dolls, right? And they're like this weird obsession with black people, right? And the whole rationale. Again, I love hearing people's racist worldviews. Like just said out how evil you were. But unless you're a Jew, who is the most evil, because they... But anyway, his wife having this collection of black dolls, right, really fascinated me as well. And I think it's the same with Mr. Trilby, right? I think, why is he fascinated with Jews? Why is he obsessed with Jews? Was he obsessed with me to a great degree? Why does he lie about me all the time, right? And I think it boils down to this, right? I think he's jealous. I think he's jealous of Jews because of the Holocaust, right? Because of World War II. Because the Holocaust is the cornerstone of woke culture, right? Or where victim culture came from. And we Jews, we don't like to consider ourselves victims, right? Yeah, they did, herd us into gas chambers. That's true. That's true. But, I think we reasonably bounced back from that. with Israel. But, but I think that feeling of how much victimhood you could really pull out of it, he is deeply jealous of, right? Deeply jealous of. And you know, I think the same sort of thing with Owen Jones. I think that's where his bonkers obsession with Jews come from. And just to highlight this bonkers obsession with Jews, look for this down the stream. Check out this little thing of if you don't think Owen Jones has a bonkers obsession with Jews, check this out.
Fighting many Jews. Back in the Middle Ages, Jews were falsely accused of ritualized murders. Danger to Jews.
Yeah, now we're falsely accused of genocide. Listen, Owen, darling, Owen, we survived the gas chambers. We'll survive your gaslighting, mate. We'll survive your gaslighting.
People in the media from certain Jewish quarters, 6 million Jews.
See, look, again, he seems to be concerned about anti-Semitism, but he's obsessed with it, right? Because he wants that claim of victimhood. We don't. I mean, listen, wouldn't mind if we got some of the money back from Germany, but other than that, he wants that claim of victimhood.
Jews, Jewish, British citizens. Are you prejudiced against Jewish people? Jewish activists, Jewish citizens, Jewish schools, ordinary Jewish civilians.
Like, okay, at this point, it's not normal anymore, is it? Right? At this point, it's bonkers, right? And I'm a minute in, right? I'm only what's going on?
Ordinary Jewish people, progressive Jewish thinkers and activists, Jewish population, Jewishness. The Jewish people, Jewish director, Jewish homeland, a bunch of anti-Semites who hate Jewish people.
Okay, I mean, like, could you imagine somebody saying the N-word this many times? I think they did that to Joe Rogan, didn't they?
Calling an Israeli Jewish person a Nazi.
You do that all the time, you cunt, right? That's you.
Henry Kissinger, who was, of course, Jewish.
Of course, Jewish.
That isn't to speak about. Obviously, Henry Kissinger was a war criminal. Jewish people, Jews, Jews.
Dude, you're a gay guy living in England. What? There's a few 100,000 of us, if that. Well, what's the Jewish population of England? It's tiny. Jewish population of the UK. According to the census, it's 271,000, right? I mean, that's not a huge number compared to like the Muslim population, which is, I think, probably much higher. 3.9 million. No, 3.9 million. Okay. So he's obsessed, right? Weirdly obsessed.
Both also Jewish. Jewish quarters, Jewish, kind of religious Jewish prayer, threats against Jewish people. Jews are accused of not Jewish.
How old is Owen Jones? I don't think I've said Jewish this many times. And I'm a fucking rabbi!
Jewish people, Jewish traditions, Jewish people, Jewish women. So the non-Jewish mayor of
Like, why do you think you know anything about Jewish people, right?
Berlin is condemning a Jewish Israeli for anti-Semitism. The peace movement is shadowy Jewish power. Jewish people have an Oscar-winning Jewish director.
Dude, why do you know he's a Jew? What the fuck's wrong with you? Right? This is an obsession. Like, I think I'm making my point. I'm halfway through the video.
Jewish political Jewish tradition, Jewish activists, the international Jewish Bolshevik conspiracy, etc. Jewish thinkers and activists, like Jews, the Holocaust.
See, this is again always on his head, right? And I think Mr. Trilby cut from the same cloth, right?
Holocaust. Well, that gives me the ick. Jewish people, Jewish Brits, Jewish people smeared Jewish people as anti-Semites. The Jewish.
You do.
Jewish people, properly Jewish, to be properly Jewish population of Europe, the Jewish diaspora, Jewish people, non-Jewish community, Jewish journalists, right?
I mean, like if he lived in Israel, maybe and was reporting on like Jewish-Palestinian relations. Oh, okay, that makes sense. If he wrote for the Jewish Chronicle, the official organ of British Jewry, it would make sense. But this is weird.
It's Jewish Labour councillors. Now, the mayor of Berlin is not Jewish.
No, but you know, I hate him anyway.
All caps, physically Jewish signs.
Physically Jewish. Sir, you've been very. What was the thing? You're clearly been flagrantly Jewish, walking in public like you own the place.
Making clear the Jews against genocide.
Yeah. I'm being clear on Jews. Jews against genocide. We are against genocide. That's why we're not doing it, right? We're also against blood libels, which is what you're doing now, Mr. Jew-obsessed weirdo.
Jews for peace. An actual real anti-Semitism is on the rise.
I wonder why. I wonder why that could be.
The Jewish people, Jewish employees obviously don't feel safe working with Gary Lineker. You yourself,
I don't feel safe being in the same bloody universe as you, mate.
hating Jew.
Actually, I reckon I could take it.
The Jewish people of Europe, sinister Jew, pulling the strings of the opposition.
Again, this is what's on his head all the time. Mr. Trilby, I believe, be the same person.
Are they trying to gaslight people to death here?
Yeah, as I said, we survived the gas chambers. We'll survive your gaslighting, you cunt. Anyway, so this whole thing began a few days ago, way back in the dim mist of the past. We had this bloke, Timescales, who I do not know, right? He's from America. Oh, come back. That's Saturday thumbnail. You're welcome, darling. He's from San Francisco, I believe, right? I've seen him around, but I don't know him. I don't think I've ever chatted to him. But essentially, he's saying all this intense sexuality that they're inserting into Doctor Who. It appears like grooming, right? It appears like grooming. Now, the word grooming freaks people out because you think you're saying that you're preparing a child for a sexual encounter with you or with others for some kind of reason, and it doesn't really mean that. And also, grooming isn't just for children. I think Russell Davis has been groomed, right, to think gender fluidity is part of the LGBTQ. It's part being gay, right? Part of the gay struggle. So it's a customizing somebody to something they're not customized to. It's moving the Overton window. And if you don't know what the Overton window is, dude, go look it up for you, please. I don't have to explain everything to you, but it's normalizing things that were hitherto unnormal. Like, it didn't used to be normal to have pride parades with naked people walking around in the street in front of children. It didn't used to be normal to have men dressed as highly sexualized, slutty porn star type caricatures of women and twerking in the face of children. That didn't used to be normal, but we've been groomed into making that normal. So he's asking the question, is Russell Davis using Doctor Who to groom children? And I think, again, I understand the phrase grooming is very scary. And I really don't think there's malicious intent. Frankly, again, I think Russell Davis has been groomed into this weird worldview, right? Where it's, despite what the science says, that transitioning children is the only good kind thing you can do, right? So that was basically what you're saying in a nutshell. Mr. Trilby had a bit of a freak out about it, right? So this is where the story picks up. So he goes blah 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 blah, crazy, right? So he basically says, I went over this last street, right? He says, it's not an anomaly. I've seen enough in the past 10 years to know that what he thinks is standard mainstream conservative position. Listen, again, this insistence of intense sexuality in a children's environment is weird, right? And I think it's okay to ask the question, right? I'm not saying he is. I honestly, my opinion is I don't think he is. I just think he's been ideologically captured. I would love to be able to talk to him about it, right? But I think he's probably too ideologically captured to be able to talk about it. So fine. So speak to anybody who self-identifies as a conservative. Nobody self-identifies as a conservative. As I'm sure these by-elections this weekend will show us, the Conservatives are going to get their ass kicked. And one of the reasons they're going to get their ass kicked? Because they've given up. They said, well, we won't change. We won't change and save ourselves. We'll just stay, an Earthstats Labour light, and and then we'll bide our time in opposition, right? Okay, that's fine, right? But here's where it gets weird. You're only one to two follow-up questions to them unraveling something akin to what Timescales did. Again, I think this new era of Doctor Who appears to be grooming, right? I think that's what Starbeast was. I think it was grooming. Again, not with the conscious intent to rape children, right? I think it's an ideology Russell Davies has been groomed into himself, right? That is exactly what I've been saying. Fandom needs to be braced for RTD2. No, he needs to know it's going to fail. He knows it's going to fail, but it might not, right? I got the first review of Space Babies, and it was more positive than I thought it'd be. We'll go over that later. Being face on it. So okay, fine. So here's where it gets weird, right? As a fandom, we weren't ready in 2018, where we went from first female Doctor to Jodie hates all men. I don't think she hates all men. I think she is a how would I describe it? I think she's a sexist, right? I think she looks down at men. I think she hates masculinity. And I think she hates normative masculinity, right? Fine. So Doctor Who is transing your kids. No, nobody said that, right? Can you bring the receipts for that? Absolutely nobody said that, right? I think they are grooming kids to normalize transgenderism to now, right? In this new era, I think it is. So here's the interesting thing, right? Remember the Owen Jones Jew, right? Is Chibnall is a secret Jew. Again, I never heard anybody say anything like that, and what would be wrong with that? Why would he need to be a secret Jew? Again, the premise of it, I think, really unveils his anti-Semitism, right? I really genuinely believe that. I think the premise of that statement unveils his anti-Semitism. Because again, why would you be a secret Jew, right? And it also never happened, right? Unless he can bring the receipts, right? Which he obviously can't, because we're going to see one in a second. Trying to move whites from society in less than a year. None of that happened. So anyway, I went over that on my stream, and I took the piss. So I said, look, you are a weirdo. You are a weird. None of that happened. You're making it all up, right? You're making it all up. So then, this morning, this was on Tuesday, so it's Thursday, right? So then this morning, somebody said this to me. And oh boy, we have a lot to talk about. So we had this first guy. Where is it? Owen_EXE. Now, I couldn't tell you for sure, right, about Owen_EXE. But if he also turns out to be Mr. Trilby, I wouldn't be at all surprised, because obviously, again, he's obsessed with Jews, right? He's obsessed with. By the way, do you see how my hand moves? I'm mirroring my hand moves in the video here. He's obsessed with Jews, right? He's absolutely obsessed with Jews, and I think that's why he monitors me for because it's an expression of it is Owen Jones-like obsession, right? And I think he heard me take the piss out of him quite well, and he was like, right, I'm so important, how dare he, right? So I don't know, right? But I would not be surprised in any way, shape, or form. Owen_EXE is the same guy as Mr. TARDIS, right? Because it suddenly pops up and says, anyone know where? Anyone got that one Mr. TARDIS video where he talks about how the rabbi from another planet said he'll smash Victoria? And then almost instantly, Mr. TARDIS came out. Oh yeah, I got that because I've always got it, Dad. Oh, so let's have a look at the thing. That shall we read this comment first, or shall we look at the video first? No, okay, let's look at the video first, so you see the ridiculousness in context, right? Better Polly. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is a bit I again did off the top of my head. What Doctor Who companions I thought I had a chance of getting into bed, right? And so I went for it. So Ben and Polly, yeah, Polly looks like it's not going to take much. If Michael Gough could get his leg over, I don't think it's too tricky for most people, right? Polly, Ben and Polly, yeah, okay. So I reckon I had a chance of Polly. Moving into Troughton, Victoria, easy, too innocent. It's got to be near closest to the end of her run. Like she's like scared and she needs, Victoria's easy. Yeah, okay. So that's what I said. Now, let's read this comment, right? Let's read how he took that. You can tell me if you think he's being disingenuous, right? So at the time he wrote, this was July 3rd, 2010. Lol, imagine the ghoul of Tzvi Lebetkin. The rabbi from another planet, a Jew. A Jew, not even a secret Jew. He just walks around flagrantly being Jewish. Calling other people groomers. I call Russell Davis a groomer. I don't think he's a technical groomer. But yeah, I think anybody, as we know now, anybody who supports the idea of transitioning children, even socially, doesn't give a shit about children, right? And if anybody who normalizes that is a groomer by definition. When he said in the videos he wants to sleep with underage girls. No, I didn't. But like, this is the insane stretch he has to go to. Why? He can't stand Jews, right? Like this is a very traditional anti-Semitic trope, saying, "Oh, they're coming for our underage girls, our little girls." In this case, Victoria from Doctor Who, specifically because they're too innocent, vulnerable, and naive. Okay, so that is true, right? I did say all that. We just saw me say that. Now, while I would like to have sex with an 18-year-old Deborah Watling or a 19-year-old or an 18-year-old Millie Gibson, genuinely, I would absolutely like to have sex with 18-year-old Deborah Watling, Millie Gibson, or we could do them in character. I don't care. You know what? Nicola Bright, we'll throw her in. We'll have a foursome. Me and those four lucky ladies, right? Would I like that? Yes. And you know what? For Nicola Bryant, I'll go up to 23. You don't have to stay at 18 there. You can go up to 23. That's how progressive I am, right? And open-minded. There are also many reasons why I wouldn't like to know. Firstly, I'm married. I got been married since 96, right? I haven't touched a woman in all that time. I'm very happily married with lots of children, right? So don't get me wrong. Yes, on one hand, I would very much like to have very dirty, sweaty, sticky, filthy, absolutely filthy sex with those three aforementioned ladies. Absolutely. But on the other hand, I don't want to cheat on my wife, right? The other thing is, and I don't know. I don't want to assume their gender or identity, right? But I think they're shiksas, right? So, that's another reason why I wouldn't want to do that. Thirdly, right, what I did say, I could, use Victoria's innocence, vulnerability, and general state of terror to con her into bed. Yes, I could do that. I absolutely 100% could do that. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want to con somebody into bed, even if I wasn't married and super Jewish, right? So the disingenuousness of this is just breathtaking. Again, I think belies Mr. Trilby's absolute obsession, hatred, and jealousy of Jews, right? My biggest crime is being a Jew, I think, to him. And then he goes, as for good measure. So prove my point. Remind everybody that this is that not only the character Victoria is a minor, she wasn't. Again, you're just fucking lying, right? She wasn't a minor, right? I did this for thumbnail just to trigger them, right? It was so funny. I also said he wants to sleep because she's young, vulnerable, and easily manipulated. The erotic adventures of schoolgirl Victoria, JFC. Jesus fucking Christ. Firstly, you don't believe in Jesus, right? And secondly, do you think the erotic adventures of schoolgirl Victoria was a serious news item that I was going to cover? Or do you think I'm trolling you for laughs? What do you think? I think I'm trolling you for laughs, right? But again, let's just focus on what you're doing, right? You're saying a Jew who you are clearly obsessed with is a pedophile based on this, right? So that means you're an anti-Semite, right? Or at least a liar and a bigot. I think an anti-Semite. I think Mr. Trilby is a racist. Same way I think Owen Jones is a racist, right? Oh God, this gets so funny. It's No, see, it's okay apparently because she couldn't be a minor because the dress she wore. Yeah, I love this when people are ignorant and they revel in their ignorance. When people are freaking out about this, how dare you try and fuck Victoria? She's a 14-year-old. Really? No, she's not. What are you talking about? I actually did some research, and there's something called decolletage. Decolletage is basically chest line. Is it chest line? Was it neckline? I can't remember whatever it's called. But her costume could own, and I don't think they worked this out, but I think it proves the point. I don't think in her mind, in anybody's mind in production, she was 14 either. You just hate Jews, and you want to disingenuously label Jews as pedophiles, right? That's just who you are. Kieran, the incredibly annoyed. Well, you're not that annoyed. You're more cute. You're more funny. Who's a little idiot? So again, he's so proud of his ignorance, right? Oh, he wants to scoff at actual knowledge. Anyone who thinks I'm joking, his defense, he looked up Victoria's dress styles and came to the conclusion. No, I didn't come to the conclusion. That's just factual, and you're an ignorant cunt, right? Kieran the quart. Fuck you. That a 14-year-old wouldn't wear that. Therefore, it's okay, even if in canon she is 14. The only canon that's saying she was 14 is an out-of-print, non-canonical short story, right? Which you can't even fucking point to. You're just got a hard-on to point at a Jew and call him a pedophile. Because you're a racist. You're a traditional racist, right? So Owen_EXE, right? It's funny, mate. I see you got that Palestinian flag in your bio. That's why I think you're probably the same person, Mr. Trilby. Let me get this clear, right? You're completely 100% fine with the weaponization of rape, right? All those rapes that happened October 7th, all the children are murdered, the children beheaded, the children burned to death in front of their parents, and the parents burned to death in front of the children. You're complete. Oh, by the way, I know he's going to say, that never happened. That's a Zionist. That fuck you, cunt. Do you want to talk to the first responders that are there? I can put you in contact. I've spoken to them. Fuck you, you cunt. You Holocaust denying cock-womble cunt, right? Yeah, no, that actually happened. You're fine with that. You are 120% fine with that, right? But me saying that I would like to fuck super hot Victoria Waterfield, that's wrong for some reason. That's wrong. I mean, like, again, is this gonna? Oh, man, yeah. I mean, this is what you're on board with. Just to be clear, right? What Free Palestine looks like, and I wish this was a parody and wasn't real, right? But this is what Free Palestine actually looks like. Yeah, because we've seen it, mate. We've seen it, right? So it's kind of like an inverse of Yadari Sim. I don't know who she is. In that game, the characters are all supposedly 18, but they're wearing middle school uniform. I have no idea what you're talking about, you perv. So, again, he's just desperate for attention, I think. Then there's another comment as well. Oh, where is it? There was something else they said about me doing AI voice. So where was that? I wish I could find it. Maybe it's over here. Was that it? No. They also had a problem when we were using AI to do the books and tape with deep fakes of Peter Capaldi and Colin Baker. But anyway, this is a weird, bizarre Jew obsession, right? From somebody who I think is very clearly an anti-Semitic racist, right? Which is probably why he's so obsessed with pointing at other people and calling them anti-Semites, because I just think it's a lot of projection, right? That's what I think. Mr. Trilby, if you ever want to get Mr. Trilby, who clearly, I remember he got married. Is he still married? I already got married. I mean, obviously, it's a very, what can I say, normative marriage. There's nothing weird going on about it whatsoever. But it did look like, she was his beard. But, listen, the only reason to talk about it is to take the piss out of them because they're such cockwombles, right? They are such fucking losers. And all these losers are coming out the woodwork, and they're all cut from the same cloth. So we got these deeply anti-Semitic rallies going on, right? Occupations going on everywhere, right? And just, openly anti-Semitic. Here, for example, let's look at this lady here. Jewish women are too ugly to be raped by Hamas, right? This is the type of person Mr. Trilby is.
Women are too ugly to be raped? How nice.
Yeah. I think I think these are anti-Semitic, Jew-hating rallies. Why would I think that? But, like, here's the other thing, right? Rape is not resistance, that thing. Here's the other thing, right? They're also so pathetic. They're such insane losers. So here are some of the demands from these protesters. So they clearly have no idea what's going on, right? No idea whatsoever.
The university be obligated to provide food to people who've taken over a building?
Right, so this was the people who, I think it's Columbia they took over, and so they were demanding food, and the demands are crazy. Was it the UCLA one? The demands were like food, hot food for lunch, please. No, not packaged. Really, they said not packaged. Okay, hot food for lunch, not packaged, and no nuts, no bananas. That's because they got some people had nut allergy, some people had banana allergy. Listen, if I had a crop dusting plane, I would get a banana and nut dust and just spray. I wouldn't do this, obviously, because I don't have a plane. I can't fly. I wouldn't kill a bunch of people. But I would just spray it over them. But anyway, so they made all these demands. They demanded for food. But listen to how pathetic and useless these people are.
Well, first of all, we're saying that they're obligated to provide food to students who pay for a meal plan here.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think they arrested a bunch of them. 80%, 90% were not from there. This is all fake. Everything about these protests are completely fake, right? Secondly, if you cripple the university so they can't do anything, you're not going to get your meal plan. Thirdly, why didn't you just go and buy yourself some food? Right? Go with your little leggies and go and buy yourself some food.
You mentioned that there was a request that food and water be brought in, unless I misunderstood.
To allow it to be brought in, I mean...
Right, they're asking for food and water to be allowed to be poured in. So listen to this, how this goes. It's so pathetic.
Well, I guess it's ultimately a question of what kind of community and obligation Columbia feels it has to its students.
I mean, clearly the Jewish students, fuck them. But us, they better get our Uber Eats over here.
Do you want students to die of dehydration and starvation, or...
Dramatic much? They'll die of dehydration. You're inside a building with water faucets. Honestly, you wanted to end these protests peacefully? Turn off the Wi-Fi. Just turn off the Wi-Fi. They'll be like, "Oh, fuck me! I don't know what to do." But a cell signal blocker. They'll be. You wouldn't even need to turn off the electricity. Wouldn't even turn off the water. You just turn off the internet, and they would run screaming like the pathetic, soft, doughy bitches that they are. Speaking of pathetic, soft, doughy bitches, remember this segment's all about Mr. Trilby.
Get severely ill, even if they disagree with you. If the answer is no, then you should allow basic, I mean, it's crazy to say because we're on an Ivy League campus, but this is like basic humanitarian aid we're asking for. Like,
you don't need humanitarian aid. You could just walk across the street to the bodega and get yourself a bottle of fucking water.
Could people please have a glass of water?
But they did put themselves in that very deliberately in that situation.
Yeah, you've put yourself in that position deliberately.
So it seems like you're sort of saying we want
to be left loose of this, but we want you to look after us still, please.
We want to be revolutionaries. We want to take over this building. Now, would you please bring us food and water?
Nobody's asking them to bring anything. We're asking.
Yeah. If you couldn't hear this, they want to take up this building. Now, can you bring us lunch, please? My daddy paid for my lunch. I want my lunch. They should expel these kids, and they should not give them any refunds. The trouble is, the reason why the universities aren't doing that is because these are their customers, and they don't want to lose their customers.
them to not violently stop us from bringing in basic humanitarian aid.
Okay, so she's saying we're asking them not to violently stop. Are they violently stopping you do that?
They're stopping the delivery of food.
We are looking for a commitment from them that they will not stop.
Well, what? You're telling me they haven't done it. No one said they're going to do it, right? It hasn't been on the table, but you want them to commit to not violently stopping you get food and water, even though you could just go and get it yourself.
But they haven't stopped it yet.
I don't know to what extent it has been attempted, but we're looking for a commitment.
And the Grubhub.
Again, the most pathetic, doughy, useless people in the history of our planet. They're breathtaking how pathetic, soft, and doughy they are. Now, here, this is what happens when somebody actually meets reality.
7.
So this guy is the guy is the son of one of the head of Hamas, right? Right. This woman is a staunch Palestinian protester. And she's here to save the poor Palestinian people because I'm such a white knight. Oh, I feel so good about myself.
Since October 7, I personally don't differentiate between Hamas and what's so-called Palestinians. Because actually there is no...
Holy fuck, he said it! He fucking said it out loud! This Palestinian person who knows what he's talking about.
Palestinians. There are tribes. There is the tribe of Hamas, and there is the tribe of the Islamic Jihad, and there is the tribe of Khalil, and there is the tribe of Nablus. And each one has different interests, and all of them are conflicted. If they did not have Israel as the common enemy, they would kill each other.
That's 100% correct.
This is the reality of what's so-called Palestine.
Rhetoric?
You don't know what...
Common colonial rhetoric? No, this man actually lives there. He was part of that system. You're an ignorant, brainless cunt. And he's somebody with lived experience, right? Now, he's saying the bullshit that you believed all your life, right, is bullshit. And you won't listen to him because you know better.
Palestine is actually, in fact, the keffiyeh that you are wearing, this is just a statement to show that you really lack the authenticity to represent the case. And what's so-called the cause, you know, this is a human problem.
So you just...
The cause must die. I think enough is enough. And now it's proven, and you are helping Hamas to prove it to the world, that Palestine depends on the destruction of the state of Israel. And this is not acceptable, and we are not going to agree to it. And I tell you something, for the next 10 or 20 years, the Palestinian people will pay the bill that Hamas is caused today. And
I think it's probably right, and I think it's tragic. Honestly, I think it's tragic, right? It's if we didn't have our hands tied behind our back with these constant accusations, these constant empty accusations, right? And the only reason people pay attention to these constant empty accusations is because it's an election year, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't pay any attention to it at all. Right? If we could have just gone and wiped them out without being stopped by America, right? And frankly, if that means we don't take aid from America, I'm all on board for that. I am 100% on board for that, right? I think we're fine. I think our economy is better than anywhere else in the world. I think our technology is fine. We would be fine, right? We would be, and I really think it's saying, it's part of my religious fundamentalism. But I do. I think I'd be fine without taking money from anyone. If we just did that and started a 20-year program of de-radicalization, we could get somewhere where we could all live in peace together, right? But not right now, because they think they can get rid of the Jews. It's not going to happen.
Most likely in blood.
To you, Hamas and Palestinians are the same. They're one and the same.
After October 7, yes, there is no difference.
Really?
The vast majority of the...
Well, I would disagree with them slightly. I mean, look, vast majority of the supported October 7th, I agree with you. I strongly believe that targeting non-combatants is wrong, right? And I as far as I know, I don't think Israel does that, right? My knowledge of it is quite good. right? That being said, the condemnation of this brigade America did recently. When I talk to my kids, they said, yeah, they got a point. They're the worst, right? They're an embarrassment to everyone. Knuckle Haredi, right? Because they're essentially a division of people who have problems, I think, right? But I just want to be honest with you guys, right? I just want to be honest.
Palestinian people support Hamas.
Really?
This is a fact.
Yes, they do, you dumb cunt. Really? Again, how can you know so little and be so confident? Oh, wait a minute. You're just like Mr. Trilby.
Is proven by statistics, and your silence now. You cannot even condemn Hamas and say that what they did on October 7 was an act of a savage group. You don't have that power.
Said I condemn.
On what authority
question.
do you speak? You only speak on the authority of Hamas propaganda.
No, why do you say that I'm speaking on the
Because you're speaking Hamas propaganda.
Authority of Hamas propaganda?
Because if you were a decent human being, you can say that the thousands were killed on October 7. That was a crime against humanity. It was a genocide.
What? They're clapping him. And American audience are so dumb. They clap anybody. Anybody who sort of wins. Look, if you get claps on The View, right? You probably get the clap from The View. Is there anything else we can go over here? Oh yeah. So this went down. In more interesting ways have gone down. I think them outing themselves as being completely useless cunts, right? Doughy, absolute useless waste of skin. Has been reasonably good for the world, but so let's look at this little sequence of events.
The entrance. We are UCLA students. I have my ID right here. I'm being blocked off, not by the security guard, but by you two. You three. Oh, look, they're making their burger while I'm going this way. Excuse me. This is what they do. Everybody, look at this. Look at this. I'm a UCLA student. I deserve to go here. We pay tuition. This is our school, and they're not.
We pay for our meal plans. Where's our meal plan that we pay for?
Letting me walk in. My class is over there. I want to use that entrance. Why can't they go? Will you let me go in? This can be over in a second. Just let me and my friends go in to class.
We're not engaging with that.
You're engaging when you're blocking him going in. You are engaging, right? You are engaging. And look, is there any difference between this and that? Right? The Nazis stopping it. I really see no difference. I see no difference whatsoever.
Will you move?
We're not engaging with that.
Okay,
and again, remember what I said at the beginning? Legitimate criticism of Israel is never anti-Semitism, right? Illegitimate criticism of Israel, like calling what's going on in Gaza a genocide, is anti-Semitism, and it's designed to force Jews from society, which is what's happening right here, right now.
We're going. I'm going in. I have my hands up. I'm not hurting them.
So, and you know, this is just I think this represents in Chesterton's Great Lion and Daleks. It's a dislike of the unlike, and it's a dislike of everybody not like them. Check this out.
You got a problem, you right? You to leave. Bro, I'm an African American. You are a white man telling me to leave a part of the campus. Do you want me to go to Jasmine Rush and show her a photo of you, the dean of students, and let her know that you was harassed?
Again, you're literally barring a black student from campus because he doesn't ideologically agree with you. You're a racist. This is pure racism.
Asking me?
Am I harassing?
Yeah, you are. You're asking me to leave a public place. You're asking, you as a white man are asking an African American.
I love the way he keeps calling him white and saying he's black. I love that.
African student to leave a public area at UCLA campus. That's called racial discrimination, and that's a violation of the Civil Rights Act. So do you want to get out of my face now?
I mean, I think your presence is on purpose.
What's that?
You're being an agitator.
I'm being an agitator.
An agitator. Do you remember that's what they used to call the hippie? They like the straights used to call the hippies agitators.
So you think the First Amendment is agitation?
No one. See, you're drawing lines that aren't there.
Okay, because I'm practicing the First Amendment right
and you're
to
allowed
record.
To do that.
Right. So I'm recording over here. This guy's recording me. You're not talking to him. Look, he's recording me. You're not talking to him.
No, I can't. These are all such insane pussies.
We got people over here. You know what I'm saying? I don't see you talking to them. You're we
haven't had any complaints
right.
about
So you're
being
right. Well, you're just.
By the way, apparently in the 60s at Kent State, when they opened fire on a bunch of anti-war protesters, at the time, 90% of the country agreed with the military for opening fire.
Bothering me, bro.
We haven't had any complaints about them being agitated.
I don't know what
get a complaint.
So what's an agitator's
I don't
plan?
have to tell you that.
Right, exactly. You can't even explain yourself, bro.
I don't have to tell you that.
Again, you're not. You have no authority other than force.
You're two white men. You're two white men blocking an African American student from walking around on the campus.
You're allowed to go wherever you want.
I'm allowed to go where I want. You seem to be blocking my daughter's stroller from going forward. You just spilled my drink. And you're blocking my child's stroller from moving forward. That's a little weird, bro. You're acting a little weird, bro.
I wonder what's going through their heads at this point.
I mean, I think right now you're acting a little bit.
Nah, you're gonna have to get out my.
No, he's not acting weird. You're a racist cunt trying to stop the races that you don't like, the non-Aryan races being in your presence.
Hey, bro. Sorry.
Right now, like, you know, you're making.
Yeah, you
just get out the fucking way, you cunt.
You sure are following me though.
I mean, right now
you're following me. You're sticking your hand in my face. You're putting your arms up over me. You're doing a lot of weird stuff, bro.
Sorry, man. Sorry, man.
Why are you sorry? I don't know why you're sorry.
We've expressed.
I don't know why you're sorry, bro.
Again, these people are fascists. These people are 100% fascists.
We've expressed that you can stand on the outside.
I love they all wear masks outside. I mean, for fuck's sake, these are so pathetic.
You can stand on the outside.
And again, 80% of them aren't even students.
You can come in and film all you want.
Okay, Eric can stand here too.
Stand on the outside.
Okay, you have no authority to tell him where he can and can't film.
You can come in and film all you want.
Yeah.
You can stand on the outside of the
Yeah, I can stand anywhere I want. Yeah, that's the good part about being a student. Bro, you know there's a 9% acceptance right here? So I had to work pretty hard. Yeah, I got into UCLA, 9% acceptance rate, so I can go where I want on this campus. Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Yeah, a student. I'm a student at UCLA. My name's Milagro Jones. Who are you?
How did you get in?
He walked in. He's a student there.
I'm a student at UCLA. I just said that.
Wouldn't be funny if he's a Jew. That would really do their heads in, right? So anyway, I think this has actually been one of the more positive things. There's been a couple of positive things. We've had this person here.
Over the last couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, he's the guy who wasn't allowed to into campus.
We have witnessed pro-Hamas protesters setting up encampments all over the country. While they cower behind their masks and hide who they are, we stand.
They do cower because they're cow. Again, Mr. Trilby, I think, is exactly the same type of person.
And tall and proudly and voice our message to the world. Israel is not going anywhere. The Jewish people are not going anywhere.
Again, I'll remind you, I'll start the segment with toxic fandom, Mr. Trilby, saying that I was a paedophile, right? And I replied to what's almost certainly his own post with a sock puppet account. But like again, so I think it's very good that people are see, according to Judaism, in Orthodox Judaism, we say what is the function of anti-Semitism, and one of the functions of it is so Jews remember they're Jews. So Jews remember who they are. They remember their heritage, right? They remember they because we're forced to, because this always happens. Sooner or later, what, been 70 years? It's back, right? But this, I think, is probably one of the most positive outcomes I saw. These, again, hateful protesters tore down the American flag, the Stars and Stripes. And we had this fraternity, and I hope they're mostly Jews. That'd be great. Go and protect the flag. They pulled it down and said they're not going to let that flag touch the ground, right? I have much respect for them. I would rather be on these people's sides than the masked cowards. It's basically just more of the same. But as far as I know, I'm not sure. I think there's been a crowdfunding set up for them just to have a party because they're so awesome, and they raised like 200,000 so far. I think Donald Trump, something that Donald Trump captured, offered them to have the party at Mar-a-Lago, right? Mar-a-Lago. I think that would be hilarious and awesome, right? Hilarious and awesome. But yeah, look, there's a general axis of evil, right? And I think it starts over here, like in our area of fandom, with racists like this, right? With racists like, who are they again? Let's see who we got. And there's a bye man and voice actor, TF, MK, and SM. I have no idea what any of those things mean. SM2 Enjoiner. And he's 18. Dude, you know nothing about nothing, right? And Trilby is a freelance TV crew member. It means he's unemployed. Assistant floor manager. Well, they a third assistant floor manager. Yeah, look, these are people who just don't have good lives. I'm sorry. Why are people racist? Because they don't have good lives, and they wish they had good lives. And frankly, I have a very good life, right? I have a very, very good life. They don't. And again, they got this weird obsession with Jews. And what's the obsession again? And it's so fucking messed up. They are jealous that the concentration camps by Germany were set up for us and not them. They're actually jealous about that, right? Crazily, right? Because they are fucked up weirdos, right? They are, and I think, that's just my medical evaluation, right? Fucked up weirdos. Speaking of fucked up weirdos, let's talk about Doctor Who. It's gonna bomb. I'm sorry. I think it's gonna. Man, I'm an hour in. Get out of here. I thought that was a 20-minute segment. I literally thought that was a 20-minute segment. I do like to waffle a bit. I got more rabbit than Sainsbury's, darling. More rabbit than Sainsbury's. Which, I don't think I've ever had rabbit. I got religious too early on in life, right? And never really appealed to me. Although the thing I most regret not having before I was religious was black pudding. I always want to have black pudding, right? Of course it's gonna bomb. Yes, it's even with the best will in the world, right? I don't think they're going to be able to make a organic success out of this new era in the same way something like Fallout was a success, right? Because Fallout was a show without agenda that was just good and fun, right? It was a well put together, intelligent show, not lecturing you, right? It doesn't look like this new era of Doctor Who is that as well, right? So and everything they've done in their promotion thus far has been a massive failure, right? As just even before that, like that they're dropping both. They're not dropping an episode tomorrow. I mean, on Saturday, they're dropping it on 2 episodes together. An act of insanity, right? Because those episodes aren't connected, and so you blew one of your weeks to build up an audience, right? And I just don't think it's going to fly, right? I don't think you're going to be able to do it. I think probably Matt Smith, if it was like the Matt Smith era, where you probably would have done. But I just don't think you're going to be able to do it with 8 episodes a year that nobody really gives a shit about while your focus is on America. And on all their marketing things, they're launching May 10th. In England, it's May 11th, isn't it? It's not good. It's not fun. It's not funny. I really got to get to that article in Variety where Ross David, Doctor Who was always queer. Right? Millie Gibson, though, has done very well by being fired, which I'm sure she was. She's booked herself a new gig in the new version of Full Size Saga. Good for you, Millie. Leave them in the dust. Millie Gibson was absolutely the best thing about the Church on Ruby Road. And by a long way, right? By a long way. Fine, let's get to the chat. Keith Willis is here. I didn't keep, or at least was here many moons ago. It's never been always queer, right? Only the last Dr. Karen onwards, and that's why it bombed. Yes, actually, I agree with you, right? Just make Doctor Who. Don't, and you can talk about social issues, but primarily it's got to be Doctor Who, right? And I'll read the review I got of the first episode from Insider, right? Just started said, and they wonder why we leave the fan base. 100%. Like, me not watching Star Trek Discovery was the stopping watching is the best thing I've done in a long time. Right? I'm just moving on from Star Trek. I don't give a shit what they do. It's gone. It's dead. I'm not interested in it. I watch the reruns. I watch the old. I got all the DVDs. I watch the classic. I watch Next Gen. I watch anything good. Right? I'm done with this new era. Right? And so is everybody else. Their final series of Discovery, their flagship show, is running now, and it's not making a blip on social media at all. Right? It's going nowhere. And I think that's the fate of Doctor Who. And I think that is the fate of Star Wars, right? We're leaving because enough already, right? And I was reporting on Discovery out of when you cyber stalk an X, which is basically what I'm doing with Doctor Who, right? I'm cyber stalking an X to see what they do, and maybe it'll good. Who knows? I doubt it. I'm really trying to go in with an open mind, though, right? I'm really trying to go in with an open mind. So we go. I left because the modern fans believe their indoctrination rather than common sense. That's very true. Doctor was never gay, and words like queer or woke didn't exist back in the 60s era of 2010s. Yeah, absolutely. This is my thumbnail for Saturday. Karen Jenner, just 1 week to go until the new Doctor. Can it be as queer as they're promising? Oh yes, this shooting. So my initial idea for this was to have a classic era companion, like maybe I was going to go with Victoria, Victoria or Zoe or Joe Grant, and probably Joe Grant being really excited to say, "Oh, it's going to be the queerest Doctor Who ever! I'm so excited!" And I don't even know what queer means. But yeah, it's... oh, by the way, and that last segment I was so excited about, I pre-made a thumbnail for it, right? Well, the right side of history. Literally, I think it was the UCLA one, when the police broke it up, when the police broke it up, one of the barriers they had was spray painted on saying, right side of history. Like, no, you're not, man. Well, the right side of history. Yeah, that is what we said. Toxic fandoms, Doctor Who fandoms with anti-Semitic obsession and unhinged hatred of Jews. So that was that last segment, right? Please share it liberally when you get it. When I put it out, I think it'll probably be tomorrow. Fine. Matthew Burrows is there doing Matthew. That was Otis started with one. Matthew Burrows, how you doing, Matt? For now, Gatwa should be known by me as Dr. Nipples or Dr. Gobshite. Going forward, I can understand. Lonnie is here. Lonnie actually has Doctor Who coming out this Saturday, right? It's the 5th episode of Dr. Alex. I've got to catch up because my episode comes out on the 11th, right? Right opposite Judy Gatwa. May I say it's going to be a much better episode of Doctor Who. Go check. Anyway, so that's going to be on Saturday for Lonnie's episode. I got to listen to it, right? I got to catch up with that, so I can start reviewing it and plugging it desperately because I really love it. Darren M is here. How you doing, Darren M? Thank you for joining us. The Soda Engines is yes. I wonder what. I've only got 7:01 on the chat. I'm an hour and 7 minutes behind. It's bizarre to me. I have a YouTube channel and I suck so hard at it. Anyway, yeah, it's a new world we live in. Yes, the Solders. I wonder what Eki new friend Shooting Gatwa has to say today. For a Eki man, he's not bad and he's stunning and brave like me. Or Eki, Jodie, you're stunninger and braver, right? What's the shittest point of Doctor Who? Her in a closet, say, don't be scared of COVID. Well, you didn't need to be scared of COVID. You're talking to kids. They had a 99.9% immunity rate or something. Something ridiculous, right? But that was back in the day when we just did what we're told. Bobby D75 sends me a lot of stuff, and I do thank you, Bobby D75. Where are we up to? Finally, the Rabbi got a shout out from Mr. Lagardis. I think he mentions me quite a lot. Amaro is here. Eddie Amaro, thank you for joining us. Shalom to Kosher Shushi. Oh, yes. Bacon butter bagels. Oh, man, I love bacon. My grandma. I used to work in a video shop when I was 17, 18. Yeah, it must have been around there. And my firstly, yeah, it wasn't a chain. When I say video rental, like a Blockbuster, but it was called Double Vision, right? And they had the thing where they had cheaper movies. Like they didn't have first run movies. They had like reasonably shitty movies, right? But they would rent them for 7 days as opposed to overnight, which was a really good move, right? But essentially, not much happened. So, don't do drugs, kids. But I would put a back in 5 minutes sign up, go to the bathroom, so I was the only one in there, and get very, very high. Right? That's how I would rather. Then my grandmother, God rest her soul, would come in, right, with the fresh made bacon sandwiches. Oh, hell, they were good. With daddy's fruity sauce on them. Oh, that shouldn't give me an erection, but it does. 8-Bit Stick Boy is here. 8-Bit Stick Boy, how you doing? Matthew Q is here. Thank you for joining us. Was it? I hope everyone can vote in London election, voting for Count Binface. You're talking about what's his name? Is it Sadiq Khan? God, he's awful. Ezra Goldstein is here. Ezra, doing? Ezra, how you doing, Ezra? Shalom, Rabbi says. Shalom, Ezra. Right. Ezra was offered another ceasefire, although all the rich students in the USA don't seem they don't know anything. They are so deeply ignorant of everything. It's beyond me. Petey Rich is here. How you doing, Petey Rich? Thank you for joining us. Big Prick is here. Can't imagine what it must be to have a son on the front line. At least, okay, I have to tell you, I'm fucked off. He's coming home. I mean, if he is, I wanted a quiet Sabbath. Leave me alone. But, you know. We'll see how it plays out. And the reason they're sending him home is because it's cheaper for us to feed them than the army to feed them. And that's really it. Oh, economics. Economics is the reason for many weird things. Fine, let's start and try and move forward. Elise is up against retards, savage retards, but retards on. Well, they are dangerous. Let me tell you, they killed quite a few people. They are very dangerous. I like Tim Paul better when Adam and Lydia were on it. Adam makes videos with Nerdrotic now. Adam who? I don't know. He had what's his name? Quarter Black Garrett, right? It works for Nerdrotic. Last I heard, right? Nerdrotic. He's got over 1 million subs now. Yeah, he's doing very well. Good for him. And totally deserved it, right? Totally deserved it. When Victoria Newland says it's time for the regime change, the CIA will be behind some Rubblies. I'm not sure what Rubblies is, but okay. Robert Payne is here. Doing Robert Payne. Hey, I saw you having a back and forth on Twitter the other day with morons. Good for you, sir. Petey Rich says I had a weird obsession with Jews. Then I met yourself and Lee and told me what was going on. Obsession. Was it really that much? That's what it took. Speaking of Lee, right here. How you doing, Problem B? Are you still banned from Twitter again, man? Problem being is like a magnet for disingenuous banning. I don't know why they go on. No, I do know why they go after him all the time. Because he's good. Because he always wins the arguments, right? Because he scares them. Deeply Strawbridge is here doing Deeply Strawbridge. Thank you for joining us. We got who else we got here? Fine. I'm up to 7:15. I'm just under an hour behind, so I'm doing better now. Did the client carry off her black dolls, or were they tissue compressed black people? No, they were China dolls. So unless there's a different tissue. Joe Sweater there. How you doing, Joe? I'm so sorry. You sent me a message and I didn't reply. I every day I feel guilty when I don't catch up with my correspondence. Joe is working on his own fiction. I really hope he comes out. I'm looking forward to seeing what AI can do to make our own fan fiction become as legitimate as Rusty Davis's Doctor Who, right? Which I think we're not far away from. Oh, sooner the better, right? Sooner the better. Fine. Well, if Mr. Trilby does nothing for 10 years, he'll be persecuted by the Mohammedans. I think that's yes. If you want to see an anti-Semitic, look in the mirror. Yes. Oh, man. Mark the Vicar is here. In 59 years, I don't recall ever bringing up Jews in general conversation. Obviously, in my Nazi circle of friends, I do it hourly. Well, exactly. It's so freaking weird, isn't it? It's just so unbelievably weird. It's easy to take. Even very soft gay people can beat him up. Well, that is true. Dr. Groom, says PD Rich. Yes. Lots of grooming going down, baby. Lots of grooming going down. Fine. Let's whiz through this. Matthew Rose said, I think RTD might be a nonce. I just stopped at that one randomly. I don't honestly, I don't think so, but I didn't think Jimmy Savile was a nonce either, right? He had a gay player, a bugger school kid, was still about 14 in Queer as Folk. You see, I don't know. Is that being a nonce, or look, I think kids have sex, right? I don't think it's the best thing for them. I think kids have sex. I think if you're gay, I don't know, but I think most gay people have sex before the age of 16. I think most people do. And again, I don't think it's a particularly good thing. So I don't know, is that being a not? In my mind, that's. Yeah, it is, I guess, because it's if it was a girl, be statutory rape. Yes, yeah, because under the age of 16, you can't give consent. Okay, but still, I don't know. What consenting adults do in private is not my business. I understand one was not an adult, but unless somebody's being forced, I don't think it's my business, right? Genuinely, I don't think it's my business. It's not something I would condone or I think it's good, but I don't think it's my business, right? Current Doctor is all about normalizing all sorts of things that most parents don't agree with or would want their children to be exposed to. Yeah, why? In the church on Ruby Road, why did Ruby need to have I don't know what in the wake of the cast report, I don't know how to describe it. A trans woman, a woman with a penis, right? I don't understand why. That to me is grooming, right? That to me is grooming. I see they're advertising new series in America now. Yeah, that's our first stop. We're going to be going over that first. It was called away. Look, mate, I was just waffling. Don't worry. Vamping. That's me, baby. That's me. Where are we up to? Polly. Yeah. Yes. Again. If Michael Goff can get his leg over Polly, I don't think it's hard for anyone, right? And again, she didn't strike me as the sharpest tack in the box, quite frankly. Don't get me wrong. I mean, she was very hot, but not the sharpest tack. Noah's been beat down by Nuhu. Oh, really? We're talking Tardisome. I have been off comics lately because of the same deal. I don't read old new comics anymore, right? I'm very happy reading old comics. Actually, I do read Ed Brubaker stuff. I'm really enjoying. I've been plowing through Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips stuff. Strong recommend, right? Strong recommend. All this and Jodie fans were gagging for lesbian acting in Yaz and a 2,000-year-old alien. Listen, mate, I can't blame that. I'm always gagging for lesbian action. That's just me for you. Ronnie says, Rabbi just must be one of those terrible shape-shifting Jews. Well, could be. We do like pretend we're cockroaches. Finding how these accounts that support the destruction of the only Jewish state go after the Jewish rabbi. Well, it's strange, isn't it? It's strange. It's almost as if, right? It's almost as if they're anti-Semitic. Sarah Smith wore Victoria's dress. Yeah, but I think it was a different dress. I don't think it really was Victoria's dress. I don't remember Victoria wearing that dress, right? Maybe she did. I mean, look, they got her out of the Victorian clothes. Or Edwardian clothes, I should say, very, very quickly, right? She was in Tim the Sidemen. She was in a miniskirt, and yes. and again, her being kind of shy to go out in a miniskirt, that was just sexy. I'm sorry. Can I interview a first responder? No, I don't want to. Frankly, they a lot of them had to go for therapy. The shit they saw. Right? Holy crap. I wouldn't want to go over it with them, right? I really wouldn't want to go over it with them. Darren Bradley is here doing Darren Bradley. These plebs failed to put into the equation that people who have fancied the socks off these screen stars ever since taking an interest in sex, you can bet your bottom dollar each and every one has fans. Yes, and I'm sorry, they constantly eroticize shooting, right? Constantly eroticize shooting. So but and that's why one of the reasons why I eroticize the the companions. I mean, other than that, and also it turns me on. Elizabeth Knightbridge here. Cheap newspapers like the Sun, Star, and News of the World were all known as shit-stirring newspapers. Mr. Trilby seems to be the Doctor Who fandom equivalent. A red top shit stirrer. Okay, I don't know what red top means, but I would say top shelf shit stirrer. But yeah, I mean, and again, look, why do people act this way? Because they have shitty lives, basically. I mean, especially if you're young today, right? And you live in this weirdo world where if you won't date a trans woman, like a woman with a penis, you're a racist, right? Like, how many normal young men have been like cajoled into sucking a dick so they wouldn't be a racist? I don't know. Neville Watkins is here. How you doing, Neville Watkins? Thank you for joining us. Who else we got here? Oh, fine. So the problem is replying to somebody else, but he's answering my question. He got suspended off Twitter for daring to call someone a Nazi for posting anti-Jewish propaganda. I've been called that so many times I didn't even notice anymore until he got suspended. Well, yeah, I can see that happening. Where are we up to? Fine, Joseph already said hello to you. Don't turn the. I know that Wi-Fi. Screw you. But it looks like it came back. Man, I guess it's going to be rough to say. Verishkath Nightstar. That's a great name. Verishkath Nightstar. Can you protest if you want? For either side? You can protest for either side. Just don't be unlawful. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Don't block people based on their ethnicity from entering public spaces. Be they Jews, be they blacks, whoever. Don't do that. That's wrong. How about getting a jumper that fits the bloke in the background? I didn't say. I wish I saw that at the time. Fine. Oh, Dan is here. Oh, there you go. I'll send you a link. I will send you a link. Oh, good. We have a lot to talk about. Oh, you sent me. I saw you just sent me a voice message. Doink. Where is this going on? 12 minutes late, Dan. 12 minutes late. What can we go? Fine. Link sent. Good. Oh, good. We got a ton of stuff to go over. Who else we got here? Fine. Whizzing through the chat. There's a Nightmare said hello to Amaro, PD Rich, 8-Bit Snip Boy said hello to you. Where are we going? Fine. We're nearly there. But again, 19th generals enthusing their own people just for being euthanize being just autistic or lame. A bit like Canada's trying to. Yeah. Canada is a disaster, right? To whoever does at midnight in the country where the show was created, well, it's so stupid, right? It's so and it shows you how American-centric it is, right? It's I don't know. Doesn't sound like it's going to be good to me. Robbie Bonham is here. Hey, doing Robbie Bonham. Thank you for joining us. Mr. TARDIS has issued a warning to its flips. Apparently, they have to be on their guard. Yes, I know. I went over that already. Adam Warlock is it? That was Neville Watkins. Adam Warlock is here. Adam Warlock. I'd like to see each of the episodes dumped all at once in D+. Then the show will finally get cancelled. I don't see it going beyond the second season, unless it's good. If it's good and it takes off, it's good and it takes off, right? I don't see it going beyond a second season. Who knows? They have said that Rossi Davis can go all night, baby. Who has said that? Nobody telling the truth. Philip Bogart is here. Hey, doing Philip Bogart. Thank you for joining us. The purple Yoda. I don't know. Why is he purple? Did he suffer from like autoerotic asphyxiation? Right. and that's why he turned purple. I don't know. Would that be a really bad one? Actually, Yoda is the best person to kill himself with autoerotic asphyxiation, because they'll be like, and you die, right? And the worst thing about autoerotic asphyxiation is your kids find you hanging up in your closet with your dick in your hand. Right? That's got to be the worst way of being found dead. But he will just vanish to join the Force, right? Although, will you be one with the Force if you kill yourself with autoerotic asphyxiation? Matthew Burrows, I'm sure I said hello to you, right? Fine, where we up to? Nearly finished at the chat. Where I'm scant 2 minutes behind. And we have called up. Now, I can't surprise you, ladies and gentlemen. I can't surprise you because I blew my load early. We have another pundit right here, right now, to help spread some light, spread some joy, spread some light on the strange goings on within Doctor Who. So with 1 or 2 warm splatterings of pleasure across my chest, it is of course Birmingham's King of the Geeks. How are you doing, sir?
Hello. I'm still laughing about that Yoda. The picture you put in my head. Fucking hell. No, he doesn't just disappear, but his search history does as well. And his stash of dirty books as well.
By the way, have you seen my thumbnail? Say, I'm very proud of this one.
Yeah, it's tremendous. A direct hit, I think, good sir.
Yes, as they say. Fine. I'm glad you're here. We have a lot to talk about, right?
So
we have a lot to talk about. Do you think? How do you think this new era is going to go down? Is the real question. How do you think it's going to go down?
In all honesty, I talked about this a little in the new year, and I believe that if anything, the content of the 8 episodes, it's next to inconsequential. I think
you are correct there. I think you're correct.
There is too much of a circus going on around it. There are several people that I know who are not remotely interested in, even with the best one in the world, not really interested in the TV show. They're just there for the reviews, how it's going to change the culture, what's going to go on with the community. Obviously, you've got numpties like Mr. TARDIS getting out of their prime, getting all calling the troops.
That was so funny stuff going on. Oh my god.
That guy is an intellectual infant, and the thought of him sort of rattling his little chain there, it really is something. Waving his little flag. So there's all that. Obviously, that's a lot of fun if you're so minded, if you've got it in check. But the thing about the TV show is, I think it is next to inconsequential, the quality of the episodes themselves, and we will be in, because it's going to keep going. This isn't, even though this is really important for the show, it's a crucial season in many respects. Obviously, Doctor Who's future for the next few years is pretty much assured. And
for the next 2 years.
Yeah, and that brings with it sort of good things and bad things, really. So I just feel that they're a little bit strangely asleep at the wheel for a brand that they've been spending. They've spent the best part of 3 years upholstering, ready for an international audience in the streaming age. I don't know why it all looks so tired already.
The marketing, we'll look at it in a minute. But look, the marketing, I think, looks quite good, but I don't think it's going to work, right? Okay, have you spoken to anybody who has actually seen the episode? They're the premiere?
I haven't.
Fine. So I got a review. I'm not going to say who it's from. If he wants me to say who it is, more than happy, but I'm not going to say it's from somebody who's there. Let me read it out, because it actually sounds a bit better than I thought, right? So here's what I said. Okay, so just finished the first episode of the new series. So it was in the cinema. It was enhanced. He said the first 10 minutes blew me away. I was like, damn, this is like 10 out of 10 so far. So that's very encouraging, right? If it's good out the bat, that's very encouraging, right? The writing was spot on, and Shuchi and Millie were unbelievable. I think in a good way, right? About 15 minutes in, the first problems happened. There was a part that was copied and pasted from the End of the World. I can give them a pass on that, because that's just, they did that also in the Rings of Akitan.
It's been 19 years. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, look, it's a new companion.
If it was 3 years ago, I'd probably think it's a bit much, but yeah, it's 19 years.
I think that's part of Doctor Who, when new companions finding out about the world, the universe, right? Whatever. The episode with Exton, I thought it was maybe just a little reference, but as the scene continued, the more I was like, yeah, this is just a copy and paste. Ooh, okay, fine. Look, I can forgive it that, I think. Where there are parts where the episode continues, and there are parts where Ncuti is playing Eric, his character from Sex Education. But somebody told me that they stopped watching Sex Education season 4 because it got too queer, right? And so it's just like, Russell's behind the times again. But okay, so let's do it. Yeah. The actual political messaging wasn't the issue. Probably will be with me. Again, same problems as before as how it was handled, which was very much in your face. So there's no subtlety to it, which is sad. Very much in your face. There was also a few times where people insinuated swearing. Even the Doctor almost swore. I don't like that at all. Which I thought was very. I
don't like that, and I don't like the idea of the Doctor shedding a tear either. I can see the temptation to take the character down that road, but I think it should be resisted at all times. And the idea that a swear word would be about to leave his lips is also not the Doctor. It's not who he is.
Right. Yeah, I think this is a reinvention too far. I'm going to watch it. It will next week. I
always hesitate, mate, to use phrases like dumbing down because it gets bandied, and the word filler gets bandied around so often. People throw those things around without thinking about what they really mean. But in this respect, if that's true about the swearing, then I think that represents a dumbing down of the character, a simplification. I'd be disappointed. I think that Russell. I don't think that Russell, even when he was doing in the first run, which I loved, I loved it from 2005 to 2009. Absolutely adored every single episode, even that one. But Russell his themes were never subtle, but his characterization was, and so therefore, and that's why it worked for. I think that combination is why it worked for so many people, because there was something there for everybody, and it was fairly broad enough that Mum could go out and make a hot drink, come back in, and still be able to pick up the story, sort of thing.
Right. Exactly.
It's that kind of thing. So I'm not expecting. He's the same bloody writer, and whilst I mean when I say he's been ideologically captured and thus intellectually compromised, and I say that with no relish, I expect the writing to be really, really on point. It can't not be. This has to.
Listen, I don't expect that. I don't expect that at all, because I think the writing was not on point in the start. But whenever he wants to give political messaging, his writing gets very, very, very clunky. Right? I think in Starbase destroyed the New Era almost completely in that one episode. Right? It really, really did. I like the Church and Ruby Road. I thought the writing of it was actually, the writing on that one was good. It was fresh. I just don't think Ncuti was good enough in the role in that. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't stunning. Like, I've been watching a lot of... I was watching Image of Fendel last night. I was like, bored to tears for most of it. I'm much more enjoying your review of it with who was it with
Simon and Stephen Noonan.
And Simon is the barometer of normal. He's the most normal person I think I've ever come across. If you want to know what normal people think, go to Simon. Right, 100%. He's awfully normal. In a good way. Fine. Let me finish this.
Simon's strength is the fact that he works. Because he still does produce, but he worked in network television for a long, long time. And so and they used to do a lot of market research, audience research. So he's very attuned to how the general public feel about all manner of things.
Right.
And that's his real strength. But he's also, Simon is also a good communicator as well. So he can express that based on that experience in a way in which, you're going to understand the levels that he's talking on. He doesn't just use big words for the sake of it. Everything that the picture that he paints in your head, the scenarios that he sort of imagines, You think, okay, yeah. Even if he disagrees with me about he enjoyed something that I didn't, he usually comes up with something I think, you know what, I can completely see that. That makes total sense. That would be exactly why somebody would respond in that way. It's
I think we can all agree. Simon Foot for showrunner, right? That makes sense. I think
I've been saying it for 10 years. I've been saying this for 10 years.
He would really be good. He would be like a modern Philip Hinchcliffe. His instincts are really on the way. And again, I'm not reviewing Image of Fendor till I finish your review of it from how long ago? It was like 2-3 months ago.
Oh no, this was around September time when I
put
that
long
out.
time.
Yeah,
right.
So
yeah, I'm not going to review it because it's really bringing up some interesting points. But my main takeaway, being on the third story of the season 15, is oh boy, are they missing Philip Hinchcliffe, right? The direction is or Invisible Enemy and Image of Fendor a bit saggy, and I don't think the scripts aren't tight enough. I think he would have tightened up those. I don't know how it may. I think the combination of him with Robert Holmes just made these incredible tight scripts that completely worked.
You
right?
can practically, when you watch those episodes, again, whether you enjoy them or not, and I enjoy them for the most part, you can actually feel the ship kind of swaying on the waves. You know, it's not lost it completely, and somebody's holding steadfast, but the ship is definitely in the storm. It's, yeah.
Well, honestly, it took them 3 years to reinvent themselves after Merry Whitehouse in season 14.
Yeah.
It was only at season 17 where they worked out, we could be fun and silly.
Yeah.
And it really worked. Like Pirate Planet really worked. I think Pirate Planet was probably the template for season 17. In the same way, I think the War Machines were the template for all of Doctor Who. Right? It was the Doctor with the military facing some kind of weird threat. Right? But I think Pirate Planet was the template for season 17.
I'm watching The Church on Ruby Road again in the next day or two.
I found that a lot of fun. I thought that was good. I thought one of the weakest aspects of it was shooting now in hindsight. I have to rewatch it before the.
Apart from running along the rooftop, I mean, admittedly, I was watching it at my mother's.
I love the running along the rooftop.
Day. Apart from that, I can't remember anything he actually said or did. In like 50 odd minutes. So I'm looking forward to seeing it again.
I found his delivery. Again, not really convincing, but I'm intrigued to see what we'll be looking at some trailers and stuff in a second. Okay, so this review goes on. They also triple down on something that was introduced in Jodie's era. It must be The Timeless Child. I'm not saying directly, but I'm sure you know what I'm referring to. It's mentioned multiple times, and even in the interview afterwards, the producers say they're not backing out of it. They say it's here to stay. For me, again, R.I.P. Doctor Who. Right, if it's really dependent on this like completely failed era of Doctor Who, then R.I.P. And I know he's Chibnall's mate. Chibnall is his mate. I couldn't give two shits. Right, if it's that, then I think the whole thing will fail because I think the fan audience acts as sheepdogs to the normie audience. Essentially, if the fan audience is excited, that's the way to get a normal audience excited, right? I've never seen the fan audience right now is less excited than they were with Jodie's second season, right? Which is really low. Really, really low. I think they're about as unexcited as they were by the time Flux came around.
The thing is, all of those kind of all the strange ones who would get excited at every time Jodie Whittaker scrunched up her face. All of those people have gone. They've left.
Yes,
the family
I know.
So they're not here. So you've got the only people that are left are the war horses like us, who will call hell or high water.
Although
and the kind of remnants.
Yeah. So I have to tell you, my life is so much better now. I've moved on from the new Trek. Like now, ever since I stopped watching Star Trek Discovery, I've just forgotten about Star Trek. It's great. I mean, I watch old Star Trek and I love old Star Trek, but like this new stuff isn't getting me down anymore. And I think I can see that going to going that way with Doctor Who. Sadly,
I do think that the next. I said this on a New Year's show that we did. I believe they'll be having largely the same conversations this time next year as that we're having now. I don't think the series. I don't think it'll move the needle in any way. I'm not anticipating a massive leap of public interest, a rejuvenation of the fan base, and a third colossal hit series. I just don't see that happening.
No, they are really, really pushing the American audience. I'll go over some of the marketing stuff, which marketing stuff looks generally very, very good. But we'll go over that in a second. Then we've got 2 more lines of this review to go. It's where am I? I lost my place. So fine, Time Shoulder is a big thing in it. The set design, special effect, props, and overall production are the most standout part for me. Probably true. They poured a ridiculous amount of money into this. I don't think to any effect. Murray Grohl truly hit it out the park again with this one. I don't think he did in the specials, frankly. It gave me goosebumps at one point. Overall, he gives it a 7 out of 10, while his brother gave it a 6.5 solid. But Rusty David falls into the same problems with the 60th and the Christmas special. Interesting. Anyway, so
I think I might know who sent you that review now.
Okay. If he told me to say who it was, I would tell him. But let's look at. There's a lot of promotion going on like the New York subway.
Yes.
Which I wish. Do you have anything like this in England or not?
No.
We get
panels. We get panels inset on buses, but they are confined. They never leave that confined area, kind of where they've always been, where they were on buses in the 70s and the 80s. They're a bit more elaborate now, and sometimes they're lit up, but they're still largely confined to a specific image area. You don't get buses wrapped in this kind of design.
Right, which looks very good, but they are so plugging it to America. They want to have the similar sort of success that something like Fallout had, and I don't think they're going to get it. But this stuff looks gorgeous, right? I mean, like I can see why they're really, really plugging it hard to the American audience, because that's the audience they want, right?
Well, Kyle from our podcast, he's in Florida, and he told me, he said, make no mistake, when this is about to launch, the full Disney machine will kick in, and they will push it hard. And I didn't really believe him, to tell you the truth. But it seems from this distance, from all these miles away, it seems to me like they are there. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, no, they are definitely pushing this hard. Wait, do I have the Times Square thing? Let me see if I got the right video. 1 second. Of the massive billboard and video billboard in Times Square.
There is so much. I mean, obviously we're covering some of it later on Type 40 Live, but there's so much that it's difficult to sort of to prioritize. Okay, which is more likely to get people talking? Which is the stuff that people might not have seen? What is the stuff that we thought we'd never see? And I think that this is probably near the top of that pile. I never thought I'd see a New York subway wrapped in Doctor Who promo. Never in a million years.
Exactly. And again, it all looks exciting and interesting. Here's Times Square. 1 second.
Times Square. I haven't seen this. Oh wow.
So it's very cool. I mean, I just wish it wasn't so like so much gay grooming shit going on. Frankly, otherwise I'd be more excited. This is again May 10th. It cranks me every time I see it say May 10th, and I live in Israel. I don't even live in England anymore. It really annoys me.
For Brits, this is because obviously they're telling us May the 11th, and yet you see it's May the 10th. We are getting the thin end of the wedge,
and that's the real day. But okay, all this stuff looks good. Millie Gibson, by the way, has booked a new gig. She's in the
Forsyth Saga.
Yeah, Full-Size Saga. Good for her. She has been the clear, consistent winner of this new era, right? Especially of this marketing. Have you seen this? Let me show you the Google Trends.
She was a very, very wise pick. And
yes, she was.
Having said that, I've never had to work with her. Maybe she was an absolute nightmare. Maybe she can be a bit of a diva,
who gives a shit? She's the only one on screen that made you come back and watch it. Essentially. So yeah, the yellow line is Millie Gibson. The red line is Doctor Who. and the blue light is Ncuti Gatwa, right?
Right.
Like Ncuti Gatwa completely collapsed, right, as soon as he opened his idiot mouth. Like he completely collapsed in excitement.
You could practically feel his sort of star turning inside out on itself. Yeah, completely dropping and imploding. Certainly in Britain, you can't say stuff like that in Britain to a mainstream demographic and expect them to just like sit there clapping like seals. You might get arseholes on the BBC. You'd get the arseholes who go and sit in the audience of stuff like the One Show, or the Graham Norton Show, to do that. But the man and woman in the street is going to just mark him down, say, "Oh, it's just another prick," and they're going to be sick of the sight of him in a fortnight, unless he can turn it around with one hell of a take on this character.
Again, I don't think that's going to happen. The guy said it was like playing it like Eric. So this was the premiere. And again, Ncuti, just dress normally once. Just once dress normally. Don't, like, why do you have to be a weirdo prick all the fucking time?
It's a big bird shit he's got on his coat, isn't it?
He does, doesn't he? He does. Yeah, so there's been new trailers as well. Let me see. Show you what else we got here.
I haven't seen any new trailers. I haven't seen any trailers for a little while.
This very quick one. And again, this is all specifically for the American audience.
I am the last of the Time Lords.
Yeah, this Friday. Not this Saturday, this Friday.
There's as many dimensions as there are atoms in the universe.
Oh my, Bridgerton!
So you can see they really want to get the American audience intrigued and like, oh, what is this? Maybe I'll check it out.
That is amazing!
I mean, it's a good promo. I mean, it's a good trailer.
All of the trailers I've seen have been really, really slick, very exciting, very energizing, and I've loved them all. Every single one.
Yeah, I agree with you.
The only thing I feel when I watch this, and I think this is gonna cost them dearly. They've got the costuming completely wrong with him.
Yeah,
they've really dropped the ball with that, allowing him to just wear this parade of brightly coloured outfits and a contemporary high fashion. That is to the detriment of this character, and it makes it look like every other show on TV.
They should have had. If you want to have variations, that's fine, but they should have gone for the 60s zoot suit with a bit of an afro. That would have been perfect. That would have been really, really cool.
There's so much scope. That's the annoying thing. Clearly, and as he delights in showing us, he can wear anything, any colour, any style. He's blessed with fantastic genes and looks after himself.
Right.
But just because...
I think he looks after other people, you know. A little bit more, mate.
But just because you can put him in literally anything, it doesn't mean you should. He's still supposed to be playing a character. This is not Ncuti Gatwa. He's supposed to be the Doctor. This is Doctor Who. It's mind-blowing.
Well, again, I think something's being blown. So this clip was just put out on American TV as well. The only people that matter.
How do you keep going?
For days like this, Ruby Sunday. I don't have a people. I don't have a home.
Should the Doctor have guns like that? Should he really be?
Let's have a look, see what they're like. Oh no, that to me doesn't bother me. His voice seems to be lacking.
I'm half joking.
Right. You know, he's again, I'm watching Tom Baker right now. His voice booms out. He is like the archetypal eccentric. Ncuti Gatwa is your gay fuck bunny, right? I don't think that works.
The other day, I watched The Giggle again.
Yeah.
And that scene where he says, "I think I'm really me." I got a shiver hearing him say that.
Good one or bad one?
A good one. I thought he was fantastic in The Giggle. I thought he was absolutely brilliant.
I hated him in The Giggle. As soon as he showed up in The Giggle, that's when that episode fell apart for me. Right,
was hanging,
I couldn't stand the big man.
Well, I watched it. This has been the first time I've rewatched it since it was on, and I was hanging on his every word. He's a fascinating actor when he's given the material. So I don't understand why I feel that way about The Giggle. And yet, as I said, The Church on Ruby Road, he made next to no impression on me. Was it just the fact that Millie Gibson was so much better?
She was so much better. But no, I think he was at his best on The Church on Ruby Road, right? But again, that he was blown off the screen by Millie Gibson, which I think is happening here. Let's watch this clip, which I think is what's happening in this clip. He's being blown out the screen by Millie Gibson.
How do you keep going?
For days like this, Ruby Sunday. I don't have a people, I don't have a home. But I don't have a job either.
It's not a bad thing to have a job. It's a good thing to have a job.
See, I got a shiver then when he said, I don't have a people, I don't have a home. I got a shiver again. There's something about his voice, and then you look at him, and he's dressed like
a twat.
I won't say what he's dressed like. he's dressed like Shooty Gatwa. You can't take what you're seeing doesn't match what you're hearing, at least for me. And therefore, if the general public pick up on that, they're not going to be convinced that this man is Doctor Who. Doesn't matter doesn't matter how good, Russell could give him some of the best dialogue that he's ever written, and Gatwa could be right at the top of his game. Because I believe they could have got the right man at the right time, even though he is, for all intents and purposes, an imbecile as a person.
He's Zoolander. He's the Zoolander Doctor.
But on screen, I think he's got this enormous potential. But as I say, what you're hearing doesn't match what you're seeing, and that is going to be the undoer unless these 8 scripts are absolute dynamite. I don't know.
Look, again, what's keeping me watching this is Millie Gibson, right? That's the one I empathize with. That's the one I think who was emoting. Yes. That's the one. And Shooty, I don't know. Here, let's finish the scene.
She's better than Billie Piper was.
Oh yeah, she's fantastic, right? She is absolutely the best asset this production had. You're fired.
A boss or taxes or rent or bills to pay. I don't have a purpose or a cause or a mission, but I have freedom.
Again, all this is not that's everything in that speech was anti-heroic to me. I don't have
the rest of it. The rest of it didn't land for me at all. No.
I mean, like his mission, he was a cause, right? I just don't think it's working, right?
Why would the thing is with lines like that? Why would he think that we think he has a mission? Who talks like that? The Doctor doesn't talk like that.
That's true. This is very self-consciously written to introduce it to a new audience, right?
Yeah.
And again, why did Fallout work? Why did Fallout create an audience, or the boys create an audience, other than being good? And I think it's because neither of them were so intensely self-conscious, right? And this production is very self-conscious. I think that was a big problem with the Cody era, right? Once you're so self-conscious, you can't be cool, right? And they really need this to be cool. They really need this to take off. And I just don't see anybody in America giving 2 shits. Right, I really don't. And frankly, I don't see people in England giving that many shits either. I think this is going to probably by the end of the season have worse ratings than Jodie did.
Thing is, the British audience, it doesn't matter. It won't matter that the show looks better than ever, special effects wise, and it won't matter that it sounds great and that the TARDIS set's bigger than ever. All that stuff may serve it well internationally, but the British audience won't care about anything like that if that geezer cannot sell them on the fact that he's Doctor Who. They won't care about any of the other stuff. We're past that time now, because pretty much all TV shows are along similar lines, production values, criteria. They all have a very similar look.
Exactly,
so that impresses people far less. So you've got to bring something else to convince the audience that that your show is worth their time when it's competing with so many other shows that all look largely the same, or other shit that you can do yourself. You can do on your phone, or you can go and see.
It's very much like when they introduced the ident, the Hooniverse ident, and it was so bland, right? It was so bland, and it's so off of what Doctor Who could have been. It should have been the famous, I think you said it, the famous Tom Baker time tunnel should have been the background, right?
Yes.
That iconic look, right, with images, woven into the
all that iconography to play with, all those childhoods, 3 generations of people's childhoods to chime with, and they did that.
I know. It's really. I'm intrigued what the Americans are. Again, this is Disney shills. They're big Disney to the back.
Welcome back. That was a clip from the all-new Doctor Who Disney Plus series. It is the longest run.
I mean, it's really cringe.
She has no idea what the show is, does she?
Right. Here, 1 second.
Which, yeah, it's about fair enough, but
here, this is a.
It's how they tried to say, the all new. I'm excited. Do you believe I'm excited? No,
I don't believe them about anything, frankly. Okay, let's look at this. Oh yeah, this is another clip which is quite good.
That is beautiful, but
it's beautiful, but it's not doing much for me. I've seen it better in Jurassic Park, right? It's not like wow. I've seen it better. I think it's been done better before. Frankly, I thought the T-Rex in Deep Breath was better. Frankly, the T-Rex walking around the Victorian Thames, I thought that was cooler, right? Even though I thought Deep Breath was shit, frankly, 20 minutes too long, and you just cut out all the comedy bits of Madame Basta and Jenny, it would have been okay. Yeah, let's see what. I love seeing the Americans react to that.
That's so beautiful.
TARDIS stands for time and relative dimension in space. So we've moved location as well. This will be North America.
Oh, what a shock! It would have been Trafalgar Square before this era. Now it's North America.
Yeah. Yeah.
One day this is Wyoming. A little town called Green River.
So Wyoming and off.
It's,
I very much doubt that Ruby could point to Wyoming on a map, let alone spell it.
Right.
That's why. Yeah, it's undermining the credibility of the. You don't impress a 19-year-old British girl by saying this would have been Wyoming. She's going, what?
Yeah, exactly. Odious Starter says very, very correctly. We need another Mike Tucker, right? They need if you look at the Day of the Doctor, that they use physical Daleks and physical effects made it so much better, right? Made it so much better.
I mean, obviously, people like Mike. Mike was still working on the show as late as 2016, 2017, wasn't he? And Danny Hargreaves is back on the show, so these people are still involved. But scenes like that, they have that kind of transatlantic feel that, I don't know, it's not there. Scenes like that aren't there for us, are they? So you've just got to hope that the whole thing comes together.
The only way to sell something is to be authentic to what it is. And I don't think they're doing that, right? Joseph said they're shooting in danger of becoming a caricature of himself. I tend to agree, right? I do tend to agree. It's much more... I think you said this as well, right? It's not Shooty Gatwa became the Doctor became Shooty Gatwa.
That's how it appears.
Although I have to say, I'm going to be intrigued to hear what your take on the Church on Ruby Road was, because I liked that a lot more, and I found it a lot more fresh than the specials, which I was. Even the giggle with Neil Patrick Harris, I thought he was great in it, but generally speaking, I hated the by generation. I thought it was just a dumb idea. I didn't like Shooty prancing around in his knickers through that. I didn't like the duplicate TARDIS. I thought it all could be done better. I didn't like him saying, "Oh, look at this, honey." I just thought he was much more settled in the role on the church on Ruby Road. The constant crying thing is annoying, right? But generally speaking, okay, the scenes like that stand out for me. Yeah, you said running on the roof, the rope ladder. And the Goblin ship, and when they're on the Goblin ship, when they're captured, and when they do the song and dance, I thought that was all great. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was very authentically Doctor Who. That very, very new at the same time. I know a lot of people hated it, right? I hope you enjoy that, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it again.
Right? Are you frozen? Oh yeah, you're wrong. I'm not sure
No,
if it's
I'm here.
frozen or it's my internet connection. Right? One of us is frozen. Who said? Time Lord Victorian says lacking in gravitas for the Doctor, an improvement on Jodie, but that isn't saying much. I tend to agree with that, right? I do. I think he lacks gravitas, and I think that's somewhat on purpose, right? Again, they're chasing an audience that doesn't exist and chasing away the audience that does exist. This is exactly what they've done many, many, many times before.
It doesn't seem to me like he's a natural fit for the part. That doesn't mean to say that he won't grow into it, because I don't necessarily think that all the actors who've played it before were necessarily natural fits for the part either. Some of them worked damn hard to reach the character and become the Doctor, and he may do that.
By the way, shouldn't that be Mavitas? I hate the Mavity thing as well, right? I hate the Mavity thing. However, Darren M brings up a very good point. You're going to be talking about this soon, aren't you?
He does. In fact, I'm glad that Darren's reminded me. Yes, because we are live. We are live again across more platforms than ever with Type 40 live.
Okay, I've got a question for you. Are you paying for the more expensive tier of StreamYard? Because you're on a lot of platforms simultaneously.
Yes, we're upgrading our entire operation without doing too much shop talk here. So yeah, we're upscaling things, and it's so far it seems to be going pretty well. Touch wood. Pretty well. So yeah, we've got a lot to cover later on, and we'll just get through as much of it as we possibly can. But more to the point, we'll have some laughs in good company, and we'll share it all with the people watching there and commenting along in the live chat. So that tends to be how it goes. There's so many things have been said in the last 7 days since we were last on, so we've had a little bit of a break, and it's a case of okay, let's take a look at the battlefield now and see what's still standing.
I know.
Which flags are still waving.
I'm struggling to go into it with an open mind, right? Type 40, more platforms than Waterloo. Charlotte's here. How you doing, Charlotte?
Yeah, Charlotte will be there, and so will Simon and various other people. So we're going to get together and have a laugh. And there'll be fan art, there'll be nostalgia, there'll be all sorts of stuff. We'll be making hay, so don't miss that either. That I know that's a tease for something that's coming up, and you'll get lots more having a pop at Shooting Gatwa as well, because that never goes.
I just wish that wasn't the mindset. Well, I wish I was going into this excited, right? I'm really annoyed that I'm not going into excited, frankly. Oh, by you having jumps in there. I heard the story that he wasn't interested in ever returning to the role of the Master, even on audio. He thought of it as a one-off.
Really?
Right? So
I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, he's a pretty serious. He's not a serious actor in the way that Chris Eccleston is, come to think of it. But John Simm's never off TV.
Yeah, look, he's also a much more commercial actor than Christopher Eccleston. Christopher Eccleston, quitting Doctor Who, did torpedo his career big time. He had to run and hide in America and be in Thor. What's that? Thor 2, and he hated every moment. You could see how much he hated every moment of that. That and G.I. Joe 2 or 3 or whatever it was. I don't know.
John Sim has been in a lot of good TV shows. He's made some stinkers as well, though, and I think that just comes with the territory of being, as you say, he's just commercially very marketable, and he can do comedy as well as drama. So it's Whereas Eccleston is Chris Eccleston, isn't he? He's very
Chris
intense.
Eccleston, never a happy camper, right?
Yes, I can't believe it's only 1 week until all this hits, and we're going to piece it all together. So be there from 8 o'clock if you want even more Doctor Who talk with myself and my panel of pals there. Who you have to wait and see who's there.
Panel of pals. They should have made us t-shirt. Yeah. Although again, I want to get a t-shirt for Simon that says "Barometer of Normal." With a big arrow pointing to his face.
Barometer of Normal. That sounds like an episode of Babylon 5.
Oh, yeah, there we go. did you ever get the box set of that they pulled out?
No, I forgot it came out because you and I were talking about it. And by the time I think it came out around Christmas time, where all the Doctor Who stuff was kicking off, and I sort of forgot it was out. So
yeah, sadly.
They might have
loved that movie they did last year. The animated one, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I liked it as well. They might have knocked a tenner off the box set by now. I might have to go and check.
Probably. Listen, maybe it's down to a tenner. I'll buy it. Looking at John Sim, the one thing I can't get my head around is how Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes haven't been upgraded to HD. Like, there's never been a Blu-ray release of it. It's so weird.
It is a bit strange, isn't it?
It was a really good show, right? It was a really good show, which pretty much
it was made just before HD really took off, because they made Torchwood. Torchwood was always made in HD, but I think it was the first. But because it was tucked away on BBC Three, and it was still an in-house thing, they experimented quite a lot with Torchwood, and I think they thought that they could afford to do things with that and experiment with it, because only one eye would be on it, so to speak. Because Life on Mars was 2006, wasn't it? Right the way back to 2008. But Ashes to Ashes, the sequel show, that was made in HD. That was made and shown in HD. But Life on Mars wasn't.
I don't think there's been an HD release of it, which, again, very weird. Very weird.
No, I don't think so.
By the way, Charlotte said, Charlotte loved his master when Moffat was writing him. I agree. I think his best appearance as a master was World Enough in Time. Right? And especially when he pulls off the disguise and Bill Potts becomes a side. That was brilliant. And then when the two masters in that last episode, that was absolutely brilliant, right?
There'll be lots of master talk on Type 40 Live Gunpoint from 8 o'clock, which I've got to go and get ready for right now, sadly.
Lots of master debating. You should have asked me, because I actually am a master debater myself.
Hey!
With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up. So I just want to go over the things I didn't get to tonight. Variety. Yeah. Okay, the Variety article. We got to do that Saturday. Big Finish actually has some good news coming out, right? Big Finish has a couple of really good boxes. Have you seen that?
Well, I know that the one thing they've announced Death World at last, haven't they?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I can't wait to see that. I thought Bob Baker's first script was in Invisible Enemy, because he wrote Death World, so I didn't know he had a
Well, no, they had a story in each of Pertwee season, didn't they? Apart from 71 onwards, so they Claws of Axis, that was them, Bob Baker and Dave Martin, and
I didn't know Claws of Axis was there. So we're going to go over that on Saturday. We're going to go over. I get. Hopefully, no more stupid shit happens, and I can start to catch up, and then we can head towards next week. I got to rewatch Church on River Road. I think you're close to that. Fine. With that, I'm gonna head off into the sunset. Get ready. Put on my smoking jacket for Type 40 Live. I can sit down with my port and swill it. Pleasurably to myself. Fine. With that, later. Oh, sure. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to wrap up. I'm going to hit the end broadcast. I'm going to hit it again and say good night. Ooh. Good luck, and may your God.